2020, as the nation grappled with a once-in-a-century pandemic, many private schools feared parents would withdraw their children and staff feared for their jobs as campuses closed their gates. Hundreds of schools qualified for the government's JobKeeper wage subsidy. Schools could claim the payment if their turnover had fallen significantly or was expected to.
To be eligible, the turnover of the business will need to have fallen by 30% or more.
Schools could receive $1,500 a fortnight for every eligible staff member.
You qualified in an instant based on a downturn that could have been simply a forecast or temporary.
730 has obtained a list of the 395 non-government schools that reported receiving JobKeeper. It shows they claimed more than $750 million in wage subsidies in 2020. But when reporting their financial results for that year, more than half of the schools revealed their incomes had actually risen, even without JobKeeper. These schools reported more than $300 million in wage subsidies.
The flaw in the JobKeeper design was that it never included a clawback mechanism, so that if you didn't need JobKeeper, you were required to return it.
If they were going to have to pay back that money, then they wouldn't have necessarily taken it in the first place.
Investment analyst Dean Patch has been monitoring the accounts of schools that received JobKeeper.
The taxpayer doesn't need to be subsidising schools that have more money than they know what to do with.
In Queensland, the Southport School on the Gold Coast pocketed almost $5 million in JobKeeper. In the same year, it tripled its surplus. The King's School in Sydney, one of the nation's most expensive, claimed more than $8 million in JobKeeper, while Canberra Grammar, a school of choice for the children of top bureaucrats and diplomats, took $7 million. Melbourne's Wesley College, which recently renovated its rowing facilities on the Yarra River, received more than $17 million. In Hobart, the Hutchins School reported almost $4 million in wage subsidy. At South Australia's Sacred Heart College, revenue didn't slip and it increased its surplus by almost the same amount it received in JobKeeper. Perth's exclusive Hale School tripled its surplus, despite receiving $7 million in JobKeeper. There's no suggestion any of these schools did anything wrong. This was exactly how JobKeeper was designed.
The program was set up based on an anticipated decline in turnover. If we didn't do that, if we'd gone for a percentage of a person's income or we'd gone for an actual decline in turnover, we wouldn't have got the money out the door.
The Treasurer Josh Frydenberg was unavailable for an interview, but in a statement told 730, JobKeeper was one of the most successful economic support programs in Australia's history, saying it saved more than 810,000 jobs.
More than blazers and ties, we're more than meets the eye.
The peak body for independent schools told 730 the pandemic impacted the ability of many families to pay fees, and the subsidy helped save jobs in the sector.
Was it legal? Yes, it was. Was it ethical? That's questionable. Is it unconscionable that they didn't return it? Yes.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.